stacking wins, I'm never done. On the field, I'm number one. Pressure heavy, weigh a ton. Yeah. Yeah. Sweat drips down off my brow. Every move I make 'em proud.
Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. It's Thursday morning, and yes, we're still getting transfer news coming our way. It's going mad. It's going mad. I mean, we've got the Premier League kicking off Saturday morning, and then we've got United playing on Monday evening, Monday night football against Everton. It's exciting times. I'm loving it. Looking forward to the weekend. Just international football's over, and we've got we've got a long run in with the Premier League football, and we can watch United finally start cooking and hopefully getting things in order. But as you've clicked on today's thumbnail, it's all about Semenyo. Yes, the guy is up for grabs and everyone's going crazy. All the fans of all the clubs are all egging their clubs on to go and sign him. He is a hot talent in the Premier League, and everyone wants a bit of him, and so do Man United fans. Of course we do. No one's going to sit there and tell me that we should not be signing Semenyo. Nobody can sit there and say, actually, do you know what? We don't want to. We don't fancy a bit of Semenyo. Let's give it a miss. Let's give it a miss and go elsewhere. Of course, you want to sign the best talent from the Premier League. That's what United used to do. The great United of all time. We used to go out, and if there was ever a top talent in the Premier League, we'd go and sign him. You'd go and sign him. Whether you need him or not is a secondary question. And I would argue that we actually need Semenyo. We do. We need more options going forward. Can we simply rely on the players that we've got? Or do we need world-class players to step in if one or two of them gets injured? That's the big question. I mean, United, we all know, is very light. When it comes to the squad, we have got very little options. We might sit there and think, oh no, we've got this option, we've got that option, but we haven't got options. And Ruben Amorim, he's not even playing the players that he's already got, like Zertsky, like Menu, and there's a reason for it. He does not like them, he does not trust them, so he has got no options. And of course he wants Semenyo. There's been lots of rumours, lots of reports coming out now about how Ruben Amorim has already been in touch with Semenyo. He was talking to him during the summer transfer window. We're not quite sure what came of that. We're going to discuss that in today's show. We're going to also take a look at other transfer news, and of course look forward to the Premier League kicking back off again. Before we kick off today's show, of course guys, like always, please hit the like button on this video, on stream. And if you're not already subscribed to the Man United stream channel, what are you waiting for, guys? Seriously, hit that subscribe button so you can become part of this fast-growing community, and of course keep up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and more from one single daily dose. Now, before I kick off, morning Jim, hope you're doing well, enjoying the weather. It's getting a little bit cold here, I must admit. It's not easy to get out and about. Seriously, I just want to kind of crawl and stay in bed. I mean, that's ideally my situation will be I'd work from the bed, but you can't of course do that. I mean, I did make myself a nice hot cup of coffee and sat down, had that, relaxed this morning, tried to get things in order. But seriously, getting out of bed, it's a task in itself when it's this cold, and it's just going to get worse. And I feel like we're in November. I mean, I think the snow comes about January, February time. But anyway, look, it's cold in the UK. If you're enjoying the sun elsewhere, send me a comment and let us know where you are and what the weather's like and if it's warm, because I envy you right now. Every time the cold hits, I always feel like, oh, I wish I was somewhere else warmer and where I could just wear shorts and hang out and chill out. But I can't handle the heat either. So I mean, I'm right in the middle. I just want somewhere where it's not too cold, not too hot, and that'll do me fine. But so I can't handle the heat either. So when it's too hot, I just get all. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. Jim says it's freezing. It is freezing. It's freezing. I mean, I'm laid up, and to be honest with you, I feel like wearing another layer on top of this. But look, forget about the cold, because things are heating up. Things are heating up, and it's all to do with the transfer market and, of course, Semenyo. Semenyo, the out-and-out crazy attacking player that Bournemouth have got on their hands. They don't want to let him go, but he wants to leave. He's seen his opportunity. He feels like this is the year where he needs to move and take his salary to the next level, because I don't think he's on a lot. And he just feels like this is the right time for him to move. He feels like this is the time where he's at the peak of his powers, shall we say, and he wants to move. And well, yeah, he's got lots of options. Now let's go back to the summer transfer window that we've just had, and there were some rumours. There was rumours that we heard, some reports we heard about how Man United were interested and in fact had gone into negotiations or talks behind the scenes through representatives, not Man United themselves, but through representatives, had talked to Bournemouth about signing Semenyo. And then we also heard news that Ruben Amorim himself had sat down with Semenyo and had dinner or something, or just a meeting with him. We're not quite sure how formal or informal this was, but he sat down with him and discussed his future at Bournemouth and the possibility of joining United. Then we're hearing that in the summer, United, now again, there's some sources that reported this, some sources haven't confirmed this. We've not had a out-and-out top world-class journalist confirm that this was the case, but they have come close, and they've said that Ruben Amorim had discussed everything with him, and then United made an informal bid, or what we call a informal reach out, where they said, look, if we'd offer around 50 million, would you accept? Now, it's not quite sure whether Bournemouth rejected the offer or whether Semenyo rejected United. That is crucial in everything we're going to talk about today, because if it was Bournemouth who said, we don't accept the offer and we're going to keep the player, that's all well and good. And that still gives us hope. And I feel that if that was the case, we need to go in for Semenyo, because he's not quite sure who he wants to join right now. He's got lots of options. I've been keeping a track of Liverpool as well, because Liverpool seem like they're in pole position right now to sign Semenyo. And we're not quite sure why that's the case, because no one's confirmed fully what Semenyo's thinking. No one's confirmed from Bournemouth either that he's going to go to Liverpool. But we're hearing lots of news and reports coming out from all the way from Liverpool saying, oh, he's ours. I've heard lots of Liverpool fans talking about it, saying Semenyo to Liverpool, here we go. There's no one else he's going to go to. He's already confirmed he's going to join Liverpool. But I would not be quite sure. And over the last 24 hours, I've started hearing more and more rumours about how United are in the potential driving seat as well. They might be there. You might not think that they are, but they are in line to sign Semenyo if they can reach the valuation and if they go in for him. It's going to be a hard decision for Semenyo to make. It's not going to be as simple as I've decided to leave and I've decided to join Liverpool and nobody else. He's not made that clear. So can United get in there, and would it be worth it for United to go and sign him? Now, I know we've got other problems around the pitch. I know we need to go and sign a midfielder, a centre defensive player who can come in and lock up, because we are leaking goals right now. We have got problems in the middle of that pitch. And come on Monday night, we're going to see that same problem arise again. I hope we're not, but I know I'm fearful, because we know that we're going to start leaking goals again. We need to somehow, put up a better defence. But so we do need to sort that out, but we also need to look at the bigger picture here. The bigger picture of having options. off the bench and starting 11. We need to have options for Ruben Amorim so he can say, right, okay, we can go drop Semenyo in there as well. We need more goals. We need, when 100%, are we 100% sure about Kuna going forward? I love the guy. I love the guy so far. I think he's been brilliant. But going forward, what if he gets an injury? Then what happens? Mason Mount is available. I know you're saying that, but again, different types of players. Kuna's different. Mount is somewhat similar to him, but different. He's more defensive and gives you a lot more higher work rate. And then you've got Semenyo, who's completely different. He's completely different to them too. So again, it gives options to Ruben Amorim, and that's what you want. You want to have options. You want to have different styles of players. And that's what you go back to Sir Alex Ferguson. And one of the things he made sure about his squad was that he had different types of players. He didn't like having the same type of player for the same position. One of the key things for him was he'd go for different types of players in the same position, so they can offer him something different off the bench or starting. That's the difference, and I like that. I like that philosophy of having different types of players in the same position. So Semenyo would absolutely give us that. Of course, Liverpool are in desperate need of a left winger as well. And I believe that they are going to go guns blazing into signing him. But it's not that clear because there's talk of Arsenal also jumping in. There's also talk of Chelsea possibly looking at him. I mean, what makes us think that there's going to be just United or Liverpool in for this guy? Everyone's going to be in for him, so why not? Why not throw our hat into the circle? Let's see what happens. It's going to be an absolutely epic battle, that's for sure. Come the January transfer window, come that first week, it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be fireworks, and we're all going to be sat here with our popcorn waiting to see what happens. But I just feel like I want to be part of this. I want to be part of the fireworks. I want to be there at the show, and I want United to be there making a bid. I want United to actually go in for him. I don't want to be thinking about ifs and buts, and if we had maybe approached him, would he have signed? Would it have been different? That's what I just want United to at least make the offer, and if we can go get this guy, go get him. And look, when it comes to finances, when it comes to budgets, that's not our problem. We need to ensure that we go and get anyone that's available that will do a job for United. That's my approach. So we do need a midfielder. But can we go and if it's Anderson available, we need to go and do everything in our power to go and get Elliot Anderson. He is my ideal midfield player to join United. I mean, if I was to have a wish list, he'd be on top of that list. Then it would be Adam Wharton, and then it would be Carlos Baleba. That's how I would rank him. You might rank him differently. You might say Baleba should be the first signing, and then it should be Anderson, and then maybe Wharton. But that's how I'm ranking him. You can rank him differently. Let me know what you think of the midfield. You might even have an outside option. You might say, well, look, forget all these guys. Let's just go and get João Gomez. He's easier to obtain. He's a lot cheaper. We'll get him. He's guaranteed to come. His salary is going to be a lot less. And it's just a no-nonsense signing. Bring him in and he'll do just as good a job as the rest of them will. So that might be an option. But when it comes to the left wing, yes, we've got Kuna. Yes, we've got Mount who can play there. But I just feel like this is too good of an opportunity to just simply let pass by. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Semenyo. Of course, I've spoken to lots of fans who are saying, we don't need him. We don't need him. We need to concentrate on the midfield. Forget about it. Do not even enter the race. But what I'm hearing is that United are looking for a winger with that type of skill set. So why not go for him? We're already looking for a player like that. We're already talking about Karim Adeyemi. We're talking about other wingers that United are looking at. They're interested. They want someone like that. So I'm not quite sure how they're looking at the player. I'm not quite sure whether they're looking at a player thinking, oh, they can play him in left wing back. If that's the case, well, then I think it's a waste of money going and signing Semenyo. Then you might as well just go and sign somebody else defensively who's probably a lot sounder. Whereas Semenyo's not a defensive type player. Just hitting our comments again. Joseph, welcome to the show this morning. You're from Nigeria, capital Abuja. It's very hot. Oh, I'm envious. I'm envious right now. Oh, I knew someone's going to jump on and tell me that it's warm elsewhere whilst we're freezing. We're freezing. I mean, What's crazy about it is, and it's mad. I know it's mad, but when it's the heat of the summer, I start missing the winter, and I'm like quite nostalgic about it being it's cold or snowy. I don't miss the rain as much, but I do miss the cold sometimes. I do feel like, in the wintry months, there's a nostalgia about it. Christmas is around, there's Christmas lights, there's a different kind of atmosphere, and it's always nice. But I also miss when as soon as the cold hits, and then you forget what it was like, what the summer was like, and you forget how, the shorts and t-shirt weather. You completely forget. So you said, Joseph said, Manchester United need defensive midfielder as soon as possible. Yeah, Joseph, we do need a defensive midfielder. That is number one priority. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying forget everybody else and just go get Semenyo and forget about the defensive duties. Let's just outscore every team that we face. That's all well and good, but we know that philosophy does not work in the long run. How long are we going to keep on outscoring? How many times are we going to have to get that equaliser? How many times can we do this? Not so many. We got away with it at Forest, and we got away with it at Spurs. But we can't keep putting in these kind of performances where we're leaking goals. We take control of the game, we score, we make use of our attackers, and then we crumble. We crumble in the second half. It's happened too many times for it to be a coincidence. It's a problem. And if anyone who knows football knows that it's because we're weak in the middle of the pitch. We've seen teams just cut through us like knife through butter. It's so easy for them to just walk straight through the centre of the pitch and get straight onto our defence. And our centre-backs, look, they're good, but they're not that bloody good. They can't keep everybody out. And of course, we end up giving goals away. We saw De Ligt, against Tell in the Spurs match. He was one-on-one left. He was left in a problem situation. He couldn't have done anything more. It was always going to be a difficult defensive duty to keep Tell away. Anyway, so they got the equaliser, and how many times are we going to do that? How many times are we going to keep out the goals? We've got a very bad defence. I think we're second or in first position when it comes to the amount of goals we're letting in this season. Yes. What's the benefit? What's different about this season is that we're scoring a lot of goals as well. We're actually top one or two teams in the league that score so much goals as well. Difference from last year, because last year we weren't scoring goals, and we did what we had to do this year. We went and we guaranteed ourselves more goals. That was the mission for the recruitment team at United. We went out and we had to sign goals. That's what we wanted. We wanted goals. So we got Mbumo, double-figure goals. We got Kuna, double-figure goals. We got Sesko, who we were hoping that would at least get into double figures goals. And yes, we've brought in goals. That's what we went and we brought that in. But unfortunately, we failed to do one other thing, which was to get that centre defensive midfielder who was going to shut up shop, and we failed to do that. Big issues there. Guys, if you're just joining us, make sure you hit the like. It's easy. You just take your finger, go right to the bottom of the stream, and there's a thumbs up button there. You just press it. It doesn't cost you anything, by the way. It's absolutely free. You just press it and it gives us more likes, and then that means that more Man United fans can join us and we can really grow as a community, and of course get more subscribers and just carry on growing. I want to thank you, by the way, everybody that's been supporting this channel. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing. I'm buzzing because we get to produce more content like this for everybody, do more shows, do more live content like this, and I enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with Man United fans. So make sure you hit the like and make sure you subscribe. Anyway, coming back to Sandil, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. We are not far from a solid 11. Only 4 players needed: Semenyo, Gui, Baleba, and Anderson. No 40 million players, no other Ugarte or Dogu, which were non-Premier League proven. That's the best comment of the day. That is exactly a page out of my book. That's if I was to come out and give you my ideal signings going forward, that would be it. That would be it. Sandil, take a bow. That is brilliant. Semenyo, Mark Gui, Baleba, Anderson. Imagine them four coming into this United team. It is over. It's over, guys. That's how close we are to getting our perfect 11. OMG. I mean, that is dream. That is a dream. And I will be touching on Mark Gui in a little bit as well, because there's some interesting news coming out of that as well. Man United, again, are sniffing around and looking at this potential free transfer of getting a top centre-back. Liverpool are seething. Liverpool are really unhappy with the fact that this deal fell through and Crystal Palace held on to their captain and their centre-back. They were literally hours away from getting this signing done. And if you hear Liverpool fans, that's the number one or number two criticism of the transfer window. Number one is Mark Gui. Number two, you'd be shocked to realise it was Brian Mbeumo. They're talking about losing out on Brian Mbeumo. So if you ask Liverpool fans, the two things that they're really upset about when it comes to the transfer window was, number one, they missed out on a centre-back in Mark Gui, and number two, they missed out on someone like Brian Mbeumo. They're jealous, guys. They're envious of what they're seeing from Brian Mbeumo at United. And why wouldn't they be? The guy is cooking for us. He's cooking for us right now, scoring goals left, right and centre. He looks like a bloody machine. He looks like an absolute Terminator, out to score as many goals as possible. And Liverpool are struggling right now. So they're, of course, looking at, we're not scoring enough goals. Brian Mbeumo would have been perfect. And then, we're leaking goals and our defence looks completely out of its depth. Van Dijk looks half the player, and Konate, you might as well not have him on the pitch. That's how bad he looks. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. And yes, this is what we need. We need these players. If we, Mark Gui, by the way, United are looking at him. United are serious. There is solid reports. I'm hearing from a couple of sources now. I've heard from two sources already. One a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, right, okay, maybe, let's wait and see. Then I heard once again that no, United are serious. They are looking at Mark Gui as a very good option, as a new centre-back that can come in, hit the ground running. They know that Maguire is on the way out. Even if they give him a 1-year extension, they'll still need to bring in another world-class centre-back. So why not get someone on the free and someone who's ready-made for the Premier League? Mia, welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for dropping your comment. He says, if Semenyo wants to go to Liverpool or anywhere else, let him. A player needs to choose to come to us rather than us to beg if he doesn't want to come. It's okay. I agree with you. One of the things I've liked about this summer transfer window that's just gone is that we didn't actually ask for these players. We didn't beg them like Mbeumo to come or Kuna. These players chose to come to United, and that for me makes a huge difference. It for me illustrates the commitment from the players. We've had too many transfer windows and years of bringing in players who are just simply mercenaries. We're a last ditch option for them. Yes, we'll come to United because we'll get paid the salary that no one else wants to pay us, but do we really want to join United? Not really. We're not really wanting to be there. I mean, the names and the list goes on. Di Maria on top of that bloody list, isn't he? Di Maria, Sanchez from Arsenal. How many players came to United under that Woodward era where we signed and we were thinking, oh, right, brilliant signing, great signing. But then immediately after, we start hearing noises that the player didn't really want to join United. He was forced to. There was lots of offers being made. It was simply too good an offer to refuse. I don't want to be one of those clubs. I don't want to be one of those clubs that are literally throwing money at players just to join us. So, no, yes, I agree with him. A great comment, by the way, because that is a provision for me. I think, no, go and get Semenyo. But if he says if he wants to come to United. Not if he says, oh, I want to join Liverpool or I want to join Arsenal, but look, do you know what? You're going to pay me the higher salary, so I'll join you instead. It does not work like that. It does not work like that. Let's not do what we've been doing and getting wrong for the past years. What we need to do is do something different, and what we've learned from and we've actually done really well. These players who have joined United, they're fully committed to Man United and no other club. There is no question mark over their loyalty to the club. They've come in and they want to give United their all. You can see it in their demeanour. And same thing with Sesko. He had a choice of going to Newcastle and any other big club around Europe. But what did he do? He said, no, I want to join United. In fact, Newcastle were ahead of United when it first kicked off. And this transfer news all started happening. And Newcastle were the ones in pole position. But Sesko made that call and he said, no, I want United. I want United. And I love that. I love that. I love players who want United over anything else. It doesn't make a difference about salary and things like that. They want to join United because of its heritage and they want to make United great again. Making it great again. Or look, with Semenyo, I just look at him and I think, yes, if there's a small hope on where he wants to actually join United, there's an interest from him, then we've got to pull the stop out. We need to go out there and sign him. We need to go out and sign him because he would make a difference, like Sandil said. I mean, can you imagine them signings? 4 players away. And I think if we got them 4 players, I would say, hands down, we would be in the Champions League spots by the end of the season. Easy guys, because you can see right now we're cooking as a team. We're playing well, but there's just a few problem areas that we need to focus on. We just need to stop them goals, and the teams are not outplaying us. They're not outplaying us. We're the better team. It's just that we kind of go through a lull between around about the 70th minute to about 85th minute. We go through a lull. I don't know what happens. We just fall off. And lots of fans have pointed out to the fact that happens because Casemiro goes off and Ahmad or someone else has to come off as well, and there's lots of changes that take place, and the substitutions that we bring in are simply not good enough to compete, and we fall off and the teams get back in again, and we need to sort that out. But I mean, imagine Baleba, imagine Anderson being in that midfield. I'd love that. Brilliant. They would be brilliant for us. And then, a new centre-back, that would be ideal as well, because there are question marks. I'm not going to kind of sugarcoat things. There are question marks over Lenny Euro staying switched on for the full 90 minutes, if he's playing the full 90 minutes. And then, of course, Harry Maguire, we know he's good in certain situations, but we also know he's weak in other situations. So again, can we rely on these 2 centre-backs all the time throughout the season? Maybe not. So a new centre-back coming in could help Lenny Euro slowly develop into the player that he's becoming, and of course allow Harry Maguire to slowly kind of see his way out of the club. He's not going to be able to give us the game time consistently, so we have to right now rotate them 2. But ideally, you don't want to be rotating any of your 2 centre-backs. You want your centre-backs to remain throughout, just in a partnership throughout the season. We've seen it with the great United teams and other clubs who have great teams. They always have a solid 2 centre-backs that just stay fit throughout the whole season. And it'll be really interesting now to see Arsenal without Gabriel, because we know he's been injured out with Brazil, and I think he's out for about a couple of months. And that's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Arsenal. Will they be able to cope with a loss like that? Again, a centre-back pairing that gets split up, Saliba and Gabriel, what a pairing. And then will they be able to cope with that loss? That is why I feel it's really important for United to keep hold of a 2 centre-back pairing that can play week in, week out. We know De Ligt is at top of his game right now, top of his game. We just need to give him another solid partner next to him, and Mark Guehi would be ideal. And again, it's one of those signings that I keep looking at thinking United need to make sure that they do absolutely everything in their power to go out and try and sign him. There's no ifs or buts. There should be no, oh, maybe we can sign him. Maybe we'll think about it. No. He's available. We know Liverpool wanted him. We know it fell through, but we've got an opening here. We've got an opening. Yes, they might have already agreed personal terms with Liverpool, but we've seen so many things happen, dramatic things happen in transfer windows, and this could be one of them. This could be one of them. And why can't United go and try and hijack this? And look, for me, yes, I know Liverpool are offering Champions League football immediately. But then there's also question marks over where Liverpool are going right now. I mean, they look like a sinking ship, let's be honest, right? They look like they're in absolute turmoil from having signed so much players, and they've not been able to show anything as a result of that. And if I'm a player and I'm thinking I'm going to sign for Liverpool, you're thinking, well, wait up, they've thrown all that money and it's not worked. So what guarantee do I have if I join Liverpool that it'll all work out? It might not. So as a player, would I like to join? Would I like to be the number one centre-back at a club and everyone focus on me? Of course I would. You know what I mean? I would want to be the main man. I would want to be the leader. And what a player he would be for United. We are lacking leaders in this team. We are lacking those players who can pick up the team. And this guy, with his experience as captain at Crystal Palace, it would be thumbs up from me. Hopefully we can get it done. Now I'll just do some comments and then I'll move on to the next segment of the show. We're going to be discussing Kobbie Mainoo and Zertsky. Again, news keeps coming out on these guys, keeps on delivering information about the January transfer window and these two. It's not going away. It's really interesting. Sandil says, what about adding Nekatara, Crystal Palace, and Nekata, Crystal Palace number 9, Nikata, yeah. Crystal Palace number 9, Premier League proven, number 9. He's very good and needs good players around him. Leave Wharton, Baleba and Anderson will cook. Yeah, look, for number 1, yeah, that's a good shout. He's a top player. We saw his goal against Liverpool. He is a very good player. Wharton, I've said it from day one. I'd accept from them 3. I'll accept 2. Any 2 will do as right now. Right, Baleba, yes. His form is a little bit worrying. There are some question marks, but will I take him over, nobody or Conor Gallagher or someone like that? Yes, I would. Of course I would. I mean, you'd have to be completely out of your mind if you think that, not signing Baleba is a good option. No, it's not. We still need to go and bring players in. And I think any one of those 2 pairing, whether it's Wharton or Baleba or Anderson or Wharton, any 2 will be magnificent for us. I mean, they will be solid. It'll be like a brick wall down the whole of that pitch. That's what it'd be like. They wouldn't get through. No one would get through. Never mind them trying and scoring. They would not get through the midfield. The problem we've got right now is our midfield is non-existent. It's not even there. If you're watching any of the games, and we were doing the watch long for Spurs, and you just saw that there's no one in the midfield. It was just like they had full reign. Spurs had full reign in the midfield. They were just walking through. Early on, it was Xavi Simons, and then it was Udogie, just running through the midfield. There's no one there to tackle him, no one there to stop him, and you do not want to see that. You're inviting trouble. You're inviting trouble time and time again. And yes, you can see out maybe 3 or 4 chances, but the 5th or 6th chance that they have where they've walked onto your defence, of course it is worrying. And of course that needs sorting out, because going further along the season, teams are going to work us out a little bit more. They're going to realise where our weaknesses are and they're going to counter on them. They're going to press them buttons every time they get a chance. That's why we need to shift things up and maybe even look at changing the system, formation, whatever you want to say. We need to maybe even do that once Ahmad and Mbeumo and Mazraoui go off to the Ofcom, because Ruben Amorim is gonna have a perfect opportunity, perfect excuse to change things around. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let me know, guys, in the comments below what you make of the potential signings and everything else. But anyway, moving on to our next bit of the news. Kobbie Mainoo and Zertsky. This keeps on coming on, and it keeps on coming up, and it keeps on irritating me because I want to hear the end of it. Yes or no? Are they staying or are they going? Because I just don't want to have this lingering on, not knowing what our team's going to be. Would I like to see them stay? Yes, I would. At least to the end of the season. Just because it gives Ruben Amorim options. That's all. I just feel like it gives us options as a team. And yeah, if Bruno Fernandes, God forbid, gets injured, we've got Kobbie Mainoo and Zertsky. I don't know where he fits into this team, to be honest with you. Zertsky is one of those players I keep thinking, oh, he's going to come on now. He's going to come on in this game. Oh, he's going to be... He's never been brought on. He's never been played by Ruben Amorim. So why Ruben Amorim would insist on keeping Zertsky, I have no idea. In fact, from both of those players, I would say that we should allow Zertsky to leave, whether it's on a loan or a permanent deal. We're not doing good by the guy. We're not doing good by him. He's not getting any game time. So why would we force him to stay? I've heard again some reports in the last 24 hours about how United are going to block a loan move for him to go to. I think it was can't remember which club. It was a Serie A club, but they're going to block his move. It might be Napoli actually. It might be or I don't know. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a club in Serie A, and I was thinking, what? Why are we doing that? Why are we going to do that? This guy's not being given any game time. The poor guy doesn't even come on when we've got injuries up front. I mean, he's probably thinking, right, this is my position. I'm going to play now. And then he's bringing on Mason Mount instead or something. So that tells you that, look, he's not someone that Ruben Amorim is confident in for whatever reason. For whatever reason, Ruben Amorim's not playing him. And yeah, for that reason, I just think, let him go. Let the guy go. Let him go. Cash out on him and maybe put that money towards bringing in a midfielder that you're going to actually use. That's what I think. And with Kobbie Mainoo, it's a tricky one because I love Kobbie Mainoo. Obviously, from the academy, Manchester born and bred. Want him to do well, want him to stay at United, I want him to fight for his position. But of course, World Cup's around the corner. He wants game time. He wants out. And I think he'll take anything right now. I think he just wants to play regular football. I got some comments about when there was links with Brighton and a possible swap deal with him and Carlos Blaber. And I got some comments from some fans saying, no way is Kobbie Mainoo going to go off to Brighton. No way. That's all a load of rubbish. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't he? Why would he not? He just wants game time. He doesn't care which club he's going to. If you ask Kobbie Mainoo right now, I think he's going to be like saying, look, I don't care as long as I get game time. I don't care whether it's a Premier League club or whether it's a Serie A club or whatever it is. I just want to be loaned out. I want game time. I think he knows that a loan move is a lot easier to get done than a full-on sale because that would be a little bit more complicated and it would mean cutting ties with United. And I believe Kobbie Mainoo doesn't want to do that. I don't feel like he wants to leave United on a permanent basis, but he does want game time. He does want to play in the World Cup, and this is his only opportunity to go out on loan and get that done. And yeah, so Brighton or any other club in the Premier League, why would it not suit him? And why would it not suit him to go even to Serie A? Any club that he can move to, I think he will take right now. Because I feel like he knows that if he stays at United, he's not going to get any game time. He's not going to get any game time. Neville, welcome to the show. How you doing, Travis? Hope you're well. Jim, mate, nice to see you. And then Neville says, no Carabao Cup has really screwed up Zertsky. No interest in Serie A has gone down for the lad. None of them have forgotten how good he was at Bologna. He's too good to be sat on the bench, you're right. Let them go. Mainoo, not good. Can't even make long, true passes. Zertsky never did anything for let them go. Then he says, plus he represents some decent represent some decent cash, so we can reckon we'll make a loss, but it won't be a loss like we made on Anthony. Menu needs to get shipped out for minutes. We can't alienate him anymore. And then you say we don't want him holding a grudge against a club. He's one of our best youngsters. Well said, Travis. In not that deep. We have to let him go somewhere. It's beneficial for both parties. Yeah, I think we've got to be sensible about it, don't we? We've got to be sensible. We can't just kind of dig our heels in and say, oh no, you're not leaving United because we want you here and that's it. You can't go anywhere else. That's just childish. That's just childish. We know he wants game time. We know he loves United. He's come through the academy, and if you look at and you hear academy players from Scott McTominay and others, they still love United. This kid's not going to end up hating United, but if we carry on the way we are doing, he might do. He might end up saying like, "Screw you guys." You're not benefiting me in any way. You're actually actively screwing me over, and you're screwing my career over, and I don't like that. And obviously, he has to look after number one. He has to look after himself. So, of course, he will say, look, I want out. I want out. And yeah, the problem we've got with Menu is this. We've got Menu. He's coming in and he is playing some minutes. We're bringing him on when we need him. But to get up to speed and start playing up to that level immediately is very difficult. And yeah, of course, he doesn't look good. He doesn't look good, guys. I'm going to say it like it is. He doesn't look good when he comes on. He has misplaced a few passes. He's a shadow of what he was, and that's because he's just not getting enough game time. So look, we need to cut our losses on this one. I'm not saying sell him, but I am saying loan him out. Loan him out. When it comes to Zertsky, that poor fella, he needs to be sold. He needs to be sold, or he needs to be loaned out. Serie A, he loves Serie A, and I think he'd do well in Serie A. We've seen some of the players that have gone from here, from United, who've done really well. Scott McTominay being the number one on that list. And look, yes, we need to just think about what we can achieve in terms of getting out of Zertsky, get that money, put it towards a player that we can actually play in the team, and he can give Ruben Amorim options. Right now, Zertsky is not giving Ruben Amorim any options. That's the big problem we've got. Zertsky is not being trusted for whatever reason. Zertsky is not on Ruben Amorim's. He's not in his circle of trust, shall we say? Yeah, I mean, we know who those players are. We know Ruben Amorim, and you can't criticise Ruben Amorim either, because Ruben Amorim's his job's on the line, so he's going to play the players that he knows he can count on. And clearly, he feels Zertsky and Menu, he can't count on those players. He can't count on the performance that they're going to put in. So he's going for players that he can trust, and he knows that they're going to give him a certain type of performance when he puts them into the team. So it's going to be absolutely interesting to find out what he's going to do on Monday night, because we know Sesko's out. Will this be a chance for Zertsky to start, maybe? Because if you look at it, Zertsky and Sesko, like physically and to some degree, they are very similar in stature and in style of play. They're both quite lanky. They're both, they like holding the ball up. They like getting the ball to their feet and then turning around and looking for build-up play. It's gonna be interesting to see whether he does that, but I can't see that happening. I look at the team and I think he's going to put out the same team he did against Spurs. I think he's going to put Ahmad, Mbumo and who's it? Kuna up at the front. But I could be wrong. But I'm guessing that's what he's going to do. Neville says, considering last season, it's very obvious he isn't match sharp. Zertsky could be useful for options whilst Sesko is out. Yeah, like I just said. And then Zertsky will jump at opportunity. You're right, Amorim doesn't rate him much. Yeah, look, I like Zertsky. I've liked him. But then again, I'm biased. I'm going to admit I'm biased. I like giving all players a lot of time, and I want to see everyone succeed. I hate the thought of having screwed up signings. I hate the thought of failing on making top signings. I want everyone to come good. However, my job's not at risk if I'm playing Zertsky or not. Right? I can take that gamble. I can say, oh, yeah, throw Zertsky in the mix. So what if he's not up to speed? And throw Menu into the mix because I like Menu. And yeah, it doesn't matter if he's not up to speed. But that's because I can. I've got the liberty. I've got the freedom, and just to do that because I'm not at risk. Whereas Ruben Amorim, we know that if he loses a game, no one's going to say, oh, it was because of Zertsky or it was because of Menu. They're going to say it was Ruben Amorim who put them on. It was Ruben Amorim who made that decision, and it's Amorim who has to face up to the heat now. Yeah, that's the difference. So when you look at that, you start realizing, well, actually, you can't force Amorim to trust the players that he doesn't like and he doesn't trust. And he must be seeing something off the pitch in training that he does not like. And yeah, he must look at the midfield, and he look at the pairing of Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, and he must think, right, these two are my most solid, most consistent players. And consistency is important because, yeah, as fans, we all know we want to see a team turn up and play football like they did last weekend. The worst thing you can see in a United team is a different team from the weekend before and the weekend before and the weekend before. You want consistency. You want to see the same style of football. You want to see the same intensity. You want to see the same movement. You do not want to see a completely different type of team. And so far this season, in the last 5 games, I say we've looked pretty consistent. We know what to expect from this United team. And that's a good sign for me. It's a good sign, and I want that to continue. I do not want to bring in players who are up one week, down the next week, and up the next week, and down the next week. No. And I think that's why Ruben Amorim, the team that he puts out right now, I think he knows what he's going to get from them. He knows what each player is going to give him in each game. He knows what Ahmad's going to do. He knows what De Ligt's going to do. He knows what Mbeumo and Kuna are going to do. That's why I think he keeps going with these players, because he can trust them. And same thing with Casemiro. We all know what Casemiro is going to give us. He's going to give us at least 16 minutes of very good defensive work rate, and then after that he's going to drop off. We know what Bruno Fernandes is going to give us, and yeah, look, this is why I think he trusts them, and he trusts them. He knows exactly what he's going to get from them. Neville says, I like him too. I completely agree. I want every United player to succeed, but that's such a good point. Our job isn't on the line. I like to see Zertsky get some chances now, but he's looked sluggish. And Jim says Zertsky has not been given enough time. Amorim been trusting Dalot. Judgment is a little off. And then Neville says, yeah, Jim would like to agree. Before his injury, he was starting to look like a good player. I was starting to see the player he was at Bologna, and it seemed it was clicking, and boom, got injured. Do you know what, Zertsky? If you look back at his highlights reel, if someone could compile his highlights reel, he would look like prime Zidane. Some of the touches he makes, some of the things that he does with the ball are absolutely out of this world. Who remembers what he did to Saliba last season? Do you remember that? I mean, he absolutely cooked the guy. He absolutely... what was it? What's the word? He completely violated him. Completely. I mean, that was some skill. And yeah, if you put that in a compilation, you'd see, whoa, this guy is sick. But unfortunately, he's not been given a long enough spell. I agree with you, Jim. He hasn't. That's why, as a fan, I like seeing players be given at least a good 10-game run. For me, I like seeing that. A 10-game run, and then we can come to the end of that and then say, look, yes, he's good, or no, he's not. He's not good. But giving him, dropping him into the deep end halfway through the match is like asking someone to, weighting him down with something and throwing him in the deep end and expecting them to come back up again and float or swim. It's very difficult. And Zertsky, I don't feel like he's been given the right chance. He's not been given the right chance. And yeah, unfortunately, yes, you could argue some of his injuries, but even when he was fit, I just felt like he was not given game time. I felt like we gave Højlund a good fair shot at the whip. I mean, he had a fair shot at trying and play and get some goals. I think last season he got given plenty of game time under Ruben Amorim, and I just felt like maybe Zertsky should have been that player. Maybe Zertsky should have been the player being given the game time, and he would have. The other problem we've got, guys, is I feel like Ruben Amorim's current system and formation just doesn't suit Zertsky. That's why. And then, yeah, Ruben Amorim looks at him and thinks, oh, he doesn't fit in my system, so I'm not going to have him in there. I'm not going to have him in there. And Neville says, Zertsky is such an unlucky lad. You're right, his highlights, though not many, but he had some beautiful moments before the injury. I remember when he pocketed Saliba, yeah. I said it here before, Zertsky is very much a victim of some of the shitty circumstances timing. Yeah, look, it is. A lot of it has to do with timing. I look back at Marcus Rashford and how he got his big break when I can't remember who got injured, but Van Gaal threw him in the deep end and he came good. And that is it. I mean, sometimes it is a sliding doors kind of moment, isn't it? I mean, sometimes you get your opening, you take that opening and your life changes. Sometimes you arrive at a club that essentially doesn't really need a player like you, or then Ruben Amorim turns up and then boom, his formation and system is completely different, really doesn't suit someone like Zertsky, and then Zertsky's left on the sidelines. It is all about getting your chances and the right circumstances. Look, I'm hoping that United can do some good business with these guys, not completely ruin these guys' careers. I feel like Zertsky should be allowed to leave. I hope the rumours and the reports that have come out in the last 24 hours about United objecting to Zertsky leaving are just rumours. I hope they are just rumours and they're not true. Same thing with Menu. I feel like he should be loaned out if United are not going to play him. If United are not going to play him, it's just going to be, we're going to ruin this guy. He's going to end up hating United and he's going to forever be bitter about it. And you're not going to have, what's that saying? You know, happy players play good football. And that's what it is. I think for me, if you don't have happy players, you're not going to get the best out of them. And just going to have players sulking around in the dressing room, and then the negativity kind of goes through the rest of the dressing room. You do not want that. You want everyone happy. And yeah, if he can, Ruben Amorim can rotate the team and give everyone equal time. But like Neville mentioned, the biggest problem we've had, we already, starting the season, we had a lack of games, but getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup was a massive dagger in the backs of players like Zertsky and Menu, because they were expected to be playing in that tournament. They would have been expected to be playing in the Carabao Cup. That would have been their chance to prove themselves. But now that's completely been taken away from them, and they're left with just sitting and hoping that someone gets injured, and then they get their chance in the Premier League. But because United, they're just playing one game a week, it's not going to really take a toll on the players as such. And I can't see many injuries, touch wood, taking place. I can't see anyone being overworked. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Tomorrow I'll be doing a preview show. We'll be looking ahead to United and the Premier League. We'll look at the rest of the games as well that going on. And then look forward to the Everton match. Of course, we've got the whole weekend actually to kind of look forward to the game and prepare. I hope it's not a damp squid. I hope it's not an anticlimax where we're all looking forward to the Monday night football and we don't get a good performance by United. But I'm hoping that United, the players have come back, they've had some time to rest, and they can kick on. They can kick on and actually do well. Neville says, I can't believe they're going to block a loan for either of these lads. It is way worse than keeping them sat on the bench when they could go off and thrive and come back more rounded. Yeah, I don't know, when I'm reading these articles, I'm thinking, nah, that can't be true. Why would that be true? But Neville, the reasoning behind it is, or what they've found out from sources, their own sources at United, is that United feel like they need the cover and they haven't got enough players in the squad. So if they let Menu and Zertsky leave, they haven't got any like top players coming in or experienced players coming in. They'll have to then get players from the academy to move up, and they don't really want to do that, and hence why they're trying to block anyone leaving and in the January window. And I think they're more likely to see Zertsky and players leave in the summer transfer window, where they feel like they'll have more time to kind of sell these players, get the better valuations, get some other teams jumping in to the bidding war, and of course then they can go and replace these players without panicking. Whereas in the January window, they feel like they're going to struggle to replace anybody who leaves, and they might not get the best price for them, which is what we're hearing about everybody else as well. We're hearing the same about the midfielder options that we're looking at. Everyone's saying we don't want to sell in January because we feel like we won't get enough bidders coming in. And Neville says some easier fixtures. Finally, we need to show them the same support we showed Brighton, and we need to get at least 10 points out of 15. Look, we've got easy fixtures, but I just do not want to look at them as easy fixtures. I want United to take them just as seriously as they did the Liverpool and the Brightons and the Spurs, and because there's no easy game in the Premier League anymore. Absolutely not. We need to be switched on, and we need to treat every game like a bloody cup final. We need to go in there, give it 110%, and we do not want to kind of have a situation where we're like, oh, we kind of missed out on 3 points in them games. We've already had 2 games where you could argue United should have walked away with all 3 points. We were in good positions, we're in solid positions for both of those games, both coming in at halftime leading. Coming in at half-time with that psychological benefit of being 1-0 up. We should have closed out them games in the second half, and we failed to do that. And for me, I don't want to be looking back at them games thinking, shit, if we only got that win, if we only got the 2 extra points in that game, we might have been in the Champions League slot position right now. Come end of the season, I don't want to be looking back at them games and thinking, we should have got them extra 2 points and we could have been in this position. And right now, we've already started kind of doing that. I mean, right now, as soon as the international break kicked off, and I was like, shit, we could have won Spurs and we could have been joint second. And, that's what I look at. And I think, oh, God, how nice would it have been to spend the international break with United riding high in joint second? It would have been amazing. And everyone would have been buzzing. And I think that increases the confidence of the players as well, because they can see themselves riding high in the league table, and they can say, look, we're cooking. Something is happening, and something good is taking place at United. And Ruben Amorim, you can see he gets more confidence as soon as he can see what's going on the pitch. It's brilliant to watch, and I'm hoping that we can really kick on next game against Everton. Guys, before I leave, please make sure you hit the like on the video, on the stream. It doesn't take long. Just a quick click helps me out a lot when it comes to the stream and the channel and the video going out to other Man United fans. And if you're not a subscriber to the Man United stream channel, and it's the first time you've come across the channel and seen me and my lovely face, and you're thinking, what is going on? Who's this guy? And what's he talking about? Well, we give you everything and more about Man United. We are huge Man United fans, and of course we're a fast-growing community. We've got lots of people all contributing and all joining in the conversation, and we'd love for you guys also to be part of this community, Man United community. And if you're not a Man United fan, you're more than welcome to subscribe and join as well, because we talk about general football as well from time to time, and it's always interesting. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Hope you have an enjoyable day. Tomorrow we're doing another live stream, possibly later on. I'm playing with the idea of doing it sometime in the evening when there's a bit more people who are free and are chilling out, and we're looking forward to the weekend. So it's like a Friday evening kind of show. Neville, always like the stream. Cheers, Neville. Thank you very much. And Jim as well, of course, as always. Neville, hope you're on the road to recovery as well. But that's it, guys, for today. See you tomorrow. Enjoy your evening.